Breaking this morning, Operation Epic Fury escalates. The U.S. launching expanded strikes as tensions with Iran reach a critical point. Top Iranian officials in the regime killed, 49 now confirmed. The U.S. and Israel crippling military assets. Our military hitting missile systems, naval assets, and command and infrastructure. A nation of more than 80 million people. And joining me now is a man who knows the reality firsthand, raised in Iran as a Shi'Ite Muslim, and today he's a Christian pastor right here in America. Please welcome Pastor Reza Safa. Thank you so much for being here with us today, Pastor. Take us to the ground there in Iran. You know that area too well. You were born and raised there. What is going on in the minds of the people there right now?
First of all, thank you so much for having me. It's a joy to be with you. You know, for the past 47 years, this regime has proven to be a repressive and brutal regime and has oppressed the people for the past 47 years with the Islamic law and oppression and brutality, and people desiring freedom. There's just a craving, a hunger in the hearts of millions of Iranians today. I would say anywhere between 70 to 80% of that population want to get rid of this regime, don't want to be called Muslims, want a freedom and secular government.
You were born there, you were raised there, you moved to America. Talk about that. Talk about life there. You know, you're a former radical, is what, you have said before in the past, and now you're a Christian pastor. Take us through that transition and how you were able to free that regime and move to America.
I was born in a very devout Muslim family. My father was a Muslim scholar. As far back as I can remember, I think I was 5 years old when I started to do my daily prayers. You know, Muslims are forced to pray 5 times every day, and they have to pray in Arabic, no matter where they come from, no matter what. You know, there are 50 Islamic nations, and out of the 1.8 billion Muslims, only 20% or 40% speak Arabic. The rest of them, like me, speak Farsi or Indonesian or Malaysian or whatever country they come from. So I had to learn those prayers by heart, not knowing what I'm saying as a young kid, and get up early in the morning. My dad would kick me and say, "Hey, it's time to get up to do your prayer." And I would wake up and do special washing, stand before Mecca, toward Mecca, and pray the namaz or the Muslim prayer. During the month of Ramadan, I fasted 30 days as a young kid. During the month of Muharram, which is a mourning month for the Shi'ite Muslims, I would go in the street, chants with thousands of other kids, beat myself with chains in a procession of showing the compassion for the dead imams of Shi'ite who were killed at the hands of other Muslims, the Sunni Muslims. And so when Islamic revolution took place, Iran became more entrenched in the Islamic law and Islamic Sharia, and the country closed down to everything because of all the sanctions, and became more deeper into that theology and spreading their ideology into other nations in the Middle East, like Syria, like Lebanon, Hamas, and Yemen, and so on and so forth. So it was a very closed society. But I left as a Muslim, came to came to America as a student, and this was a year before revolution. When revolution took place, because I was a very devout Muslim, I want to go back and get involved. And so when I went back, it felt like not a right place for me. I think it was the calling of God in my life. I felt an urge to leave the country, left it the second time after 3 months. And this time I went to Sweden. And there I heard the message of the gospel after 6 months. And I gave my heart to Jesus. And the rest is a long story.
Well, praise God, and I'm so glad you're here in America and preaching the gospel of the Lord to all of America and doing what you do. Let's talk about, because I've been seeing a lot of this on social media. You know, we know what the people there lived through and lived under this regime. Let's talk about the women specifically. They couldn't wear makeup. There were so many rules for these women. It's really sad the lack of freedom these women had. Talk to us about that. What was the everyday life like for a woman there in Iran?
You know, in the Islamic ideology or faith, a woman is a thing. As a matter of fact, Muhammad, the Prophet of Islam, says it. He says, a woman is a blanket, pull it on you as much as you desire. A woman is a possession. And you can see that all over the Islamic world. And wherever they practice the Islamic Sharia law, like in Saudi Arabia, women are not even allowed to drive. In Iran, they were oppressed in regards to how they dressed, so you couldn't go outside without being fully covered. And if you were not fully covered, if your hair were just a little bit visible, they would take you. They're actually a unit within the government that was clothes police for women and men as well, but mainly women. And so they would arrest you and put you in these vans, take you inside the police station, beat you up and with lashes just because a portion of your hair was visible or you had a makeup on or you had a lipstick on. And so, and of course, you saw all those demonstrations several years ago on Mahsa Amini when, because her hair was open, they killed her in the street. And so there was a big rioting all over the country, and the government loosened that grip a little bit more, allowed the women to dress as they want, and some were uncovered, and now some you can see in the streets that walk around without a covering. But
Are we seeing that now, Pastor? Are we seeing that since Operation Epic Fury? Are we seeing women there in Iran going out in the streets celebrating without the covers on their faces?
no, it actually started with Mahsa's demonstration last year,
Yeah.
and or was it 2 years ago? And so it's been going on. So the government realized that they cannot push this. That's one thing about Iranian culture is that you cannot push them too far. And after a while, they will revolt and they will come after you. And so that what happens. And now, so you can see a little bit more freedom for women. But if you look at the situation all over the Islamic country, I was on a program last night talking about. I was in Dubai one night, and outside, out of my hotel, outside the main drag there, all the restaurants, people are eating, and I see a lot of Muslim woman completely covered, their faces. They had a net over their faces, and you don't see that in Iran. Iran was more moderate in that sense. And so I saw this couple sitting next to me, and the lady was completely covered, and then she had a net over her face. You couldn't see her face at all. And then she was eating spaghetti. And so as she's eating spaghetti, she pulls this net little bit opening like this and put spaghetti in her mouth and then close it. And spaghetti was all over that net.
Ugh.
It looked gross. My heart broke looking at
Yeah.
this woman, and the man sitting there with his Arabic dress that looks like a pajamas, sitting wide, however he wants to dress and eat in freedom. And that woman looks like a bird in a cage. And the thought that came to
Sad.
me, Islam is an oppressive system, and Muslims need to be set free by the power of the gospel. And that is the desire of my heart.
Yes, mine too. So take us through the last couple of months. President Trump has been very vocal, giving Iran warnings, telling them that, if you do not come to the table and talk, you will get the worst case scenario, which we are seeing now. This shouldn't have come to a surprise for anyone because he has been warning them publicly for months, if not years. So when this strike happened, in the overnight hours, Friday night into Saturday, you get word. What was your first reaction?
Well, my reaction, as a matter of fact, I foresaw this a while back that this is going to take place. As a matter of fact, last Sunday, um, before this whole thing began, as I was studying in our group, the Persian group, I said that it came out of my spirit that the leader, supreme leader, will be killed. And as you know, it that happened the first day of the strikes. You know that what President Trump, I believe God has raised the spirit of this president to stop the evilness and the terrorism of this government that has spread all over the Middle East. If you go back to 1979, the Islamic Revolution, you will realize how much evil has been and how many tens of thousands. They say as many as 400,000 people have died since the Islamic Revolution. And some numbers, look at it, Syria, they say 4 million people have died. You look at Iraq, millions of people that have died there. Look at Yemen and Lebanon. And I mean, it's just endless death because Islam is based on death. And the root of all of this began in 1979 with the Islamic Revolution, rising up that spirit of Islam. And I think God raised our president to stop this evilness in the Middle East. And of course, Israelis have always seen that, and they've had always in their heart to stop this regime with the help of the U.S. I think this is of God, that to stop this regime, and hopefully this will be the end of them.
I hope you're right. And when it comes to the people there in Iran, for you as well, what comes next? President Trump has said this would take days, this will take weeks, and they're not going to stop until everything is taken care of. Their plans for getting rid of this regime completely 100% before they pull back. Also hoping for some type of negotiations from, the current leaders, whoever they may be at this moment. We're also getting word today that a new leader who was in charge has also been eliminated. So a lot of uncertainty there about what the future looks like for Iran. But what are your hopes? What are we looking like timeline wise? The people of Iran have wanted this. They're celebrating in the streets. Now it's up to them to move forward with their future. What are you seeing? What are you hearing? What do you think the timeline would look like for changes to take place?
This government, the Iranian government, the Islamic regime, has rooted so deeply in that society. If you pull out a small root out of the ground, you're not going to hurt much of the around that root. But if you pull a massive tree out, you will pull out all kinds of stones and dirt and so on and so forth. So the destruction is going to be greater. And I think that's what's going to happen, unfortunately, in the years to come, because they have changed much of the social system of the society. And to get it back to what it was and going forward, I think it's going to take some time. Now, the Shah's son, Reza Shah, now is the leader. The problem has been that he's been outside of the country. So the oppression has been so strong within the country that hasn't allowed a leader to rise up within the country. Every voice that raised in Iran was imprisoned or tortured or killed. And so that is part of the problem, that the system is not going to be from within. The system is going to be formed from without, from outside. And that, with the Iranian culture, and we have 30 some different variety of people groups. We have Kurdish people, we have Baluchi people, we have Azeri people, we have Turkish people, we have Arab people in the south. So all of these fragmentation, it needs a leader that can unify the whole nation together under one leadership. And then we have the communist groups, MLK. And so it's going to be tough in the years to come. And so it's something that we pray for, a peaceful transition, if this is the time for this government to go and a new government to come to place. But one thing is for certain, that Iranians will not have a religious government. As a matter of fact, something is happening among Iranians. They're making posts on social medias and individually saying, I am not a Muslim. I am an Iran. I'm a Persian. I am not a
Wow.
Muslim. So they're going back
Mhm.
to their roots as Persian,
Good.
because, as you know, Iran was Zoroastrian before Islam came in the 6th century, middle of 6th and 7th century. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here in the days to come.
Do you still have family there, Pastor?
I do, but they have disowned me because of my conversion. So I have no contact with any of them.
Mhm. Well, I do pray that they're doing well and are, hopefully on the positive side of things going on there right now during this operation. Let's talk about now, we have sleeper cells in this country. The borders were wide open for many years under the former administration. And we just saw in Austin, Texas over the weekend, just hours after Operation Epic Fury was enacted, we saw a act of terrorism right here in our homeland. It's a real threat, not knowing how many of these people are just hanging out in our communities ready to strike at any moment.
I think with what happened with killing of the Ayatollah, he was the representative of the imams of the Shiite imams, and so he was considered as almost like a holy man, and they worshipped him in Iran. Many people, many radical Muslims, as well as the Shiites in Iraq, the Shiite in Syria and other places, Lebanon and so on. So for them to lose him and being killed by especially the Israeli forces and U.S., that is going to rise up those emotions within the Islamic communities, wherever they are, the radical Shiite Islamic communities. And so we have to be watchful for the days to come. One thing you have to understand about the Islamic mindset is that it's a vengeful mindset, that it will take revenge. And we have to thank God for our security forces in America, FBI and police forces that are watching over this. And so we have to be watchful over in the days to come.
Yes, absolutely. Let's talk about you now in your books. I know that you have Welcome Inside Islam, 1996 bestseller. You also have one written in 2006, Fall of Islam, I believe.
Right.
Yes. Tell us about that. This really gives people an inside look of what's happening there from a firsthand knowledge from yourself.
In 1990, the Lord spoke to me about a great move that is coming to the Islamic world. At that time, I was living in Sweden. I was co-pastoring a large church, and was also crusading around, traveling around the world in the unreached area, especially Muslim areas, and holding these crusades of tens of thousands of people coming and hearing the gospel. And so the Lord spoke to me in 1990 that I need to move to America. He said, there's a great move coming in the Muslim world, and you will have a part in it. And so get prepared. So I came to America. Make a long story short, out of all places, landed in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and started praying, and actually started a church and started praying on a daily basis, fasting for this, what God was saying about the Islamic world. And, right before 9/11, actually a year before 9/11, the Lord spoke to me about writing about the Islamic faith. And Inside Islam was the first book. I wasn't willing to write it first because at that time, Salman Rushdie had written a book called Satanic Verses, and the Iranian government put a price, $18 million on his head. And I said to the Lord, I said, have you heard about the story of Salman Rushdie? I'm not writing this book. At that time, I was a little bit concerned about my own life. And so, but anyhow, I obeyed him, wrote that book. And after I wrote that book, it sold only 300 copies. I told to the Lord, I said, I told you, people in America are not interested about Islam. And then after 9/11, it became bestseller, sold over 100,000 copies, and it's been translated to many languages. And then in 2004, 2005, the Lord spoke to me about the fall of Islam in Iran, because we started seeing a tremendous revival in 2003, after we started broadcasting into Iran, many Muslims came to the Lord. Our phone would not stop, nonstop ringing, email nonstop from Iranians watching our programs from a satellite dish and coming to Christ. So the Lord spoke to me about what's happening now, actually, 2004, 2005. Wrote that book 2006 called The Coming Fall of Islam in Iran, which is taking place now. Spiritually, is already taken place. Islam is dead in the hearts of millions of Iranians. But I think there's going to come a day where, out of this is very interesting stats. Out of 75,000 mosques in Iran, only 50,000 mosques have closed down their doors. Imagine, in the head of all the radical Islamic world, people are rejecting Islam and do not want to be called Muslims anymore.
Wow. Well, it's great to hear that. And I would love and encourage everyone to pick up one of your books so they can be more knowledgeable about what's going on there. They can go to your website and pick up a copy on your website. Give us your website. And then I want to talk about also the television station that you are currently running.
Yes, the rezasafa.com or najattv.org, but rezasafa.com, it's easy. I have written actually a whole bunch of books on Islam, Islamic faith, and so they can go on there and go to the bookstore and order these books. As the Lord spoke to me about the coming revival in Iran, He also told me about that I will be on television work in Iran, which at that time I wasn't aware that there was such a thing as a satellite network. And I came to California. I used to live in Oklahoma. Came to California to preach in a Persian church, Farsi speaking church, and they told me about there are satellite stations based in Southern California, secular stations, broadcasting political stuff over to Iran. So I contacted one of them. I said, "Can I buy some time from you?" And they said, "Of course you could." I said, "I'm a Christian." They said, "No problem." And so I started with 2 hours weekly on a secular network, and the first program that went out over to Iran. It was a Sunday morning actually, and I was sitting in my office getting ready for the service, for the church service, and a call came in, and somebody from Iran called our office and want to accept the Lord. And then another call came in, and then another call, and so calls kept coming in. That entire week, I had to add more phone lines to our system because there were so many people calling. And then in 2006, Dr. Paul Crouch found out about the result that is happening in Iran, that there's so many thousands are coming to Christ. So he asked us to move to Southern California and join TBN. And so we became one of TBN networks, broadcasting 24/7. And since then, just an outpouring of God's Spirit over that land. Millions have come to the Lord, signs and wonders. 90% of the people that call us and accept the Lord have either seen the Lord in a vision, in a dream, or in person. And it's incredible, the stories that we hear out of that land and the number of people that are coming to Christ. And I'm talking about every facet of that society. I'm talking about people within the government. One time I prayed with 5 ayatollahs. These are high-ranking clerics. One of them told me, he said, "For 2 years we've been watching you and listening to you." And after 2 years, they all accepted the Lord. One of them confessed his faith in his mosque, and they then exiled him to Turkey. The 4 others did not confess their faith, and I don't know what's happening with them. But we're talking about military people, top military people. We're talking about government ministers. All kinds of people have come to Christ through these networks. And it's been an amazing grace of God over that land.
Yes, you are definitely blessed. Congratulations to you and all of your successes, and keep doing the Lord's work. We appreciate you, Pastor Reza Safa, for coming on the show here today. Come back and see us soon. Would love to stay updated on everything going on with Iran. We appreciate you.
Awesome. Appreciate that.
Well, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, he gave a press conference at the Pentagon, and he updated Operation Epic Fury, and he gave this stern reminder to everyone.
Turns out the regime who chanted death to America and death to Israel was gifted death from America and death from Israel. This is not a so-called regime change war, but the regime sure did change, and the world is better off for it.
Yeah, for years, the Islamic regime shouted death to America. Our Heather Mullins was there at the press conference, and she filed this report with Brandon Straka, who was also there from the organization Walkaway.
And Heather Mullins here with LINDELLTV. We are at the Pentagon after a briefing we just heard with Secretary Hegseth. Joining me now is Brandon Strzok of the Walk Away campaign.
Hey, good to be with you.
Yeah, thanks for joining me. So you started the Walk Away campaign. You encouraged Democrats to leave their party. I want to get your reaction to today's hearing or briefing on Iran as a, I guess, would it be a Reform Democrat? Just what is your overall takeaway with the situation in the briefing today?
Well, that's actually a great question, because what's interesting is, like, right now, so many people, I think in the last 4 years, 5 years, are really, their eyes have been open, their minds have been open. People are asking a lot more questions than they used to. I think before, people used to kind of go on autopilot, turn on Fox News in the background or whatever news show that they watch. But now I think people are paying a lot more attention. And what's kind of interesting is that even within the MAGA movement, there's a diversity of opinions that are happening right now, and some people are very opposed to the decision to strike Iran, and some people are very, very, supportive of that. So I was kind of here today to, I would say, represent the voice of people, whether they walked away from the left or if they are on the MAGA side, but they're not so sure, who are going, is this America first? Why are we putting so much time and attention into these foreign conflicts when we should be dealing with the issues here at home? Didn't get to get a question in today. It was very brief. It was a brief briefing. But I think that's kind of the voice I was here to represent. And also, I'll say, sorry, one more thing I'll say is, I asked my followers, what questions would you like me to ask Secretary Hegseth if I can? And the question that was kind of recurringly being put in the comments was, are we safe at home now? And what intel do we have about sleeper cells? I wish we'd gotten to talk a little more about that.
Yeah, for sure. After 4 years of the illegal invasion, there's no telling who came into our country. Right. Great question. How do you see this impacting midterms? Because I know you have some stuff in the works with the Walkaway campaign. This is a pretty big deal. A lot of media in the room here today, including some of the old media that got kicked out, were allowed to return for this particular briefing. But just how do you see this impacting the midterms going forward?
Well, I think for the moment that remains to be seen, because what's interesting is, for the people within the MAGA movement who are very, staunchly like, let's stay out of foreign conflicts, let's just worry about putting America first. I think we have a tendency at times to underestimate Trump in these foreign conflicts, because he has this way of kind of going in there, taking decisive action, and then resolving conflicts sometimes within a week, or whatever. And what we think is like, oh my God, we're getting into this thing that's going to drag on for 20 years. That's not actually the direction it goes. So let's give it a minute just to see where this goes, because it could actually, I think, be a net positive possibly. And I think cast the Trump administration in a place of strength, in a light of strength, which would ultimately be really good. On the other hand, I think for the sector of the base that, look, there's a lot of people, I'm going to switch gears here for a second. I wish the same energy that we're putting into, striking Iran and things like that, I would like to see that kind of striking happening in our own FBI and DOJ and our own weapons.
I concur.
Really, I mean, honestly, those are the number one issues, especially with what I went through. I know with what your boss has gone through, and probably you've gone through, all of us to some degree have gone through, been the target of investigations and indictments and, countless other things like that. So I want to know that we're taking the same amount of effort and action to make sure that we're cleaning out our FBI and cleaning out our DOJ. And as it pertains to the midterms, it's a little different direction. But the issue of affordability, I think, is going to be a really big deal for voters under 30. So walk away, that's what we're putting a lot of emphasis on. Is we've traveled the country for years, but particularly in the last couple of years, going into colleges and talking to young voters. And what we kept hearing over and over again are really three things. One, college people under 30 are saying, I don't think I'm ever going to get out of student loan debt. I don't think I'm ever going to be able to own a home. And what is the workforce going to look like for someone like me as AI takes over, technology takes over, our jobs are being outsourced to foreign labor. And, I think for too long, Republicans have had this message that socialism sucks, capitalism is great. But a lot of people are going, okay, but we exist in a capitalist system, and I feel like this isn't working for me. And what I found in New York City last year was a lot of people were supporting Zoran Mamdani, but I thought, it would be because they were sort of like radical, indoctrinated Marxists. Some are, but a lot of them are just people saying, look, I'm working 2 or 3 jobs and I have roommates and I'm 35 years old. Like the system's not working for me. So I want to see Republicans come to the table and address the affordability issue with real solutions so that we can inspire and motivate people under 30 to come back and believe in the capitalist system, believe in America, and vote for the Republican Party.
Certainly hope we can do that. But I just want to also stress, you made such a great point with going after the FBI. And going back to that, like a lot of people, especially the people on the right that witnessed what President Trump went through, what the J6ers like yourself went through, down in Georgia, all the 19 people arrested and indicted. And now we're finding out, Fonnie Willis took a bunch of money from the Biden administration. There is an enemy at home that we're essentially at war with because they, waged a war on innocent Americans like yourself.
Yes.
And so I totally agree that, where I hope we see more going into Trump's second term, fighting the enemies at home, because I still have questions, and I was hoping to get a question in here today just about, what does the intelligence say about Iran and the direct impact to America, specifically America? I know, our allies have had their own issues with the country, but what is the actual threat to Americans that the intelligence suggested? So just curious to, find more information on that. But any final thoughts here before we wrap up?
Well, yeah, and that's, like I said, a lot of people, in my following and in my comments were very concerned about, sleeper cells. And like, as you said, millions of people came over our border under the last administration. We weren't allowed to ask questions about who these people are, what their intentions are, what their motivations are. And so, certainly we need a lot more, I think, intel on are we safe here at home?
Well, it's scary, too, that I think DHS Secretary Kristi Noem recently put out a statement saying that some people in her own team put spyware on her phone and laptop. I'm not sure if you saw that.
I didn't.
Yeah, so she said Elon Musk helped her to find the spyware that members of her own team had put on her devices. So the enemy at home is so real. It's such, I feel like, for me personally, I feel like that's the bigger threat than Iran. And so that's kind of why I wanted to ask them, what is it about Iran? I trust that President Trump knows things I don't, and I'm not privy to those conversations. But I do feel personally as American, the bigger threat is in my backyard, not off in the Middle East. And that's just, my thoughts on that. But,
No, I agree with that. And I think that any action, whether it's in our Department of Justice or the FBI or any of these 3-letter agencies, it needs to be very aggressive. And my gut instinct, combined with conversations that I've had with people in these 3-letter agencies, is that we're not there yet, that not enough has been done at this point to weed out infiltration from bad actors right here in our own government. And that's really scary because, first of all, I've already lived through what that looks like when your own government is weaponized against you and out to get you. But I would argue that if we don't take this opportunity now in these 4 years to weed this out, root out all of that, it's going to be much worse down the road, because not only did we not correct the problem, but then we also signaled that when we do have power, we don't use it to get rid of that rot and that corruption. And that will only embolden and empower further the people who are doing this. So that's a scary thought.
It is, but we need to unite, and you're doing a great job uniting Reform Democrats to these issues. So tell people where they can go to follow you and learn more about the Walkaway campaign.
Sure. So we started on Facebook, so people can always join us in our group, the hashtag Walkaway Campaign on Facebook, or you can go to our website, walkawaycampaign.com. There's more information there about how you can follow us on all the various social media platforms. And please, on this topic, subscribe to our email list and our texting list. Why is that so important? Because we do live in a country that is filled with rotten, dirty, nasty, dastardly bad actors who love to deplatform us and silence us and censor us. So the best line of defense is always to be able to reach you guys directly. So go to walkawaycampaign.com. Please sign up for our email list and our texting list and follow us on social media.
Yep, and here's that website again, walkawaycampaign.com. Brandon Straka with a very interesting story of being a Democrat and walking away from the party. So I encourage everyone to check out his site. When we come back, Rise Up, Turning Point USA's newest chapter, TP USA Rise, is here with us. A new weekly segment we're so excited about. We are picking up Charlie Kirk's mic. We are moving onward with Turning Point Rise. That's next. Stay with us.
Let's face it, you can't trust Big Pharma. They've already tried to block ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, and raise prices on everything from antibiotics to your daily meds. Well, there's good news. All Family Pharmacy is standing up for medical freedom and helping people get the treatments they actually want. My family and I use them all the time. They made it easy and affordable without the runaround. While other pharmacies are jacking up prices, they've actually dropped theirs. Ivermectin now starts at just $2 a capsule. Use my promo code LINDELLTV, you get an extra 10% off of that. You need ivermectin, antibiotics, or methylene blue, you name it, they've got it. They make it simple. You fill out a short online form, a licensed doctor reviews it, and your meds ship fast right to your front door. If you want to be prepared and have your medications on hand, this is your new pharmacy. Visit allfamilypharmacy.com/Lindell. Promo code LINDELL10 saves you even more. That's allfamilypharmacy.com/Lindell. Promo code LINDELL10. For the first time ever, we're bringing you My Pillow mattresses and mattress toppers for as low as $99.98. Remember, sleep's all about temperature and pressure points. Whatever sleep needs you have, we have the right technology for you. Like our My Pillow mattress topper, our queen size has over 10,000 individual comfort supports to help relieve your pressure points. And how about our 3-inch Hybrid Plus mattress topper? It's infused with copper and silver to help your body get the restorative sleep it needs. And our My Pillow and Case Coil mattresses, I personally helped develop these mattresses to make sure they have everything needed to give us great sleep. Plus, they're made right here in the USA, and they ship right to your front door, absolutely free. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to get MyPillow mattresses and toppers for as low as $99.98 and free shipping. If you want to drop extra pounds, boost energy levels, and reduce swelling in your legs and feet, then this message is for you. Pure Health Research is on a mission to make America healthy again. And 2 of their best-selling health supplements are leading the way. First is Liver Health Formula. Over 100 million Americans have a sluggish liver that's riddled with fatty deposits. This can kill your metabolism, pile on the pounds, and make you feel tired. Liver Health Formula takes care of that. It supports thriving liver health with special nutrients like artichoke extract and milk thistle. This is one of the easiest ways to slim down and revitalize your energy levels. Next is lymph system support. If you struggle with fluid buildup or swelling in your legs, ankles, and feet, this is for you. The natural ingredients in lymph system support help gently flush away extra fluid and toxins out of your body. And right now, for a limited time, you can get 35% off Liver Health Formula and Lymph System Support, along with 50 plus other health supplements that Pure Health Research has to offer. So head over to purehealthresearch.com and use promo code Lindell at checkout. That's purehealthresearch.com, promo code Lindell to save 35% on your order today.
This morning, we're launching something new and something powerful. TPUSA Rise, a movement focused on the next generation stepping up, speaking out, and leading with conviction. In a time when young voices are often silenced or steered in one direction, TPUSA Rise is pushing back, encouraging faith, freedom, and fearless leadership. To kick things off with us today is Jaden Hurd with Turning Point USA Rise. Hey, friend, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Vanessa. It's good to see you.
Good to see you. The last time I saw you and reconnected was at America Fest in December. What a great time. And this is really where Turning Point USA Rise launched. Tell us about Turning Point USA Rise. Let's get things started with what this chapter of Turning Point is all about.
Yeah, I mean, Turning Point USA Rise, first of all, is something amazing. And it's something that would not have happened without Charlie giving us the resources to do so. But we exist to strengthen families and reclaim culture within minority America by empowering Black, Hispanic, and Asian communities, and all of minority America, to rise above division and cultural decay. Before we taught people how to exit essentially the mindset that you have to be a victim or that you can't think for yourself. But after we have exited, now we rise, and now we're equipping them with the resources, relationships, and real world opportunities to live out spiritual clarity, moral courage, and unapologetic truth. So I'm really excited about it, and it's an amazing project that we have working on.
Yes, it is amazing. And this is really a group of people that aren't, or haven't been, I should say, focused on, you talked about the Asians, the Hispanics. And so for Turning Point USA Rise to reach them and educate these communities on the importance of not only the history of our country, but where we want to go moving forward is really astonishing to see. And I'm very grateful for Rise to be able to do that and go out there into these communities and help these people, the younger generation, as we know, Jaden, they're being brainwashed, whether it's at schools, whether it's on social media. I've said it before and I'll say it again. These kids, they know the latest TikTok trend and the TikTok dance, but they don't know our Constitution or our Declaration of Independence, or some kids may not even know who our Vice President of the United States is. And so for Turning Point USA to go out there and educate these children is really special.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And one of our pillars, we have 4 pillars, and it's each letter, right? So we have the R, the I, the S, and the E. And one of them is influence culture through creative storytelling and truth-centered media that inspire moral and spiritual renewal. And so we want to reach, obviously, the younger generation by influencing the music that they listen to, by actually stepping into these creative spaces and not promoting degeneracy, but actually restoring those things and promoting virtuous values. The other one is reach. That's the R. We want to reach minority communities through relationships and partnerships that strengthen families. And we can do this through our TPSA Rise city chapters, and we also do this through our Next Gen chapters, which focus on our HBCU initiatives and also other minority America school initiatives as well. Our S is strengthen families, right? Because we believe in faith, family, and freedom. We believe that family is the foundation that's really going to restore minority America. And I'm sure you know all the statistics, Vanessa, on the likelihood that you're going to wind up in prison, you're not going to end up successful, you're going to end up in a gang of some sorts if you don't have 2 parents in the household. Then the last one is E, equip communities with resources. Like we said, we really want to not just tell you the truth, but we want to give you practical ways to live this truth out.
Oh, that's really great. I wasn't aware that each letter of Rise had a significant meaning. So thank you for that. You talked about music. We can talk about that on another week because I could go on all day, Jaden, about the filthy music that's being put out on the airwaves right now for our children, and the vulgar dances as well from these artists that our children are subjected to. So let's save that conversation for another segment on another Tuesday, because there are plenty I can call out there, and also alternatives for people to listen to, for their children to listen to, good Christian faithful music, which we need them to pay more attention to. So Turning Point right now, I know there is a tour going on, and one just occurred, and I think there's two more. Can you tell us about those?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Race War Tour is really the big thing that we're focusing on right now. And it's basically a screening that will take place in basically the key urban cities such as Atlanta, Baltimore, Chicago, Detroit. We've announced a few dates so far, as you see on the screen. One of them is in Washington, D.C. And the goal is to fill these theaters and spark bold, truth center conversations about race, culture, and media manipulation. Our founder and senior director, Pierre Wilson, who took part in producing this film, Race War, is incredible. And you get to see his creative vision again, the influencing culture, he embodies so well. As well as you get to see the work of Marcus Wada, who also helped produce this as well, be put on, a screen. And you get to watch episode 1. And I believe there's also going to be a panel there to answer questions of people who are actually in the Race War screening. And so it's a really cool event. We also have a few other things that we'll announce later for the fall. Um, I don't know if I'm allowed to say them yet, but we do have some more stuff coming up as far as Race War is concerned. But that's what we've announced so far, so I'm excited for it.
I'm excited for it too. And we'll have Turning Point Rise on every week. I know Pierre Wilson, the founder, will be joining us as well. You too, Jaden. Always a pleasure to have you on. So whenever those things are announced, we expect to hear those great announcements here on the show. I'm excited about it and everything that Turning Point USA Rise is doing. For people who are watching right now and they want to get their children involved, I know you have a website. Take us to your website and how people can either start a chapter, get involved, volunteer. There's so many different opportunities for the younger generation to get involved, and Turning Point has opened the door to everyone.
Yeah, please go to tpusarise.com. And you can even go to tpsa.com/get involved. We have a whole get involved page on how you can either get involved with our city chapters or our next gen chapters if you are a student, because we need people. I mean, ultimately, our work is in vain if we don't have the people to actually go out and do the Lord's work. And our founder Pierre Wilson, he was the one who founded chapters in the first place back when it was Blexit. And so in the name of Pierre Wilson, I really would just love to see this vision grow. And I'm just so in love with the mission, but it can't happen without people getting involved. So tpusarise.com, you can find our get involved page and start a chapter today.
Jaden, I appreciate you being on the show. I know that I'll be seeing a lot more from you, from Pierre, and all of the great people at TPUSA Rise. When I first met all of you, you've always been so wonderful. And I tell people all the time, and I know you can vouch for this, it really is a family. And whenever I was at America Fest, to hug Renata's neck, your neck, Pierre's neck, it's so nice to see you all. We see you on the TV all the time, and we talk through text and on social media, of course, but to go to these events and really connect, I can't encourage people enough to get involved, because it really is family oriented, and it's good, Christian loving, America loving, family loving people, and it's just positive and happy. And that's one thing, Jaden, as we start to wrap things up here real quick, what I noticed about America Fest, as sad as it was without Charlie Kirk, it was happy, it was joyful, and I would walk around the halls and people were smiling and happy, and that's what it's all about. We are all, no matter what our ethnicity is, our religious background, we're all Americans, we're all human, we're all products of God, and we're all one family.
Amen. And that is the difference between really us and the left. right? We promote being a victor in Christ versus being a victim just because of some sort of circumstance that you may be in. And every time you go to a conservative event where you surround yourself with like-minded people, those are the vibes, man. It's just good. It's just having a good time. It reminds me of like going to a cookout, especially if you're hanging out with the people who rise. Somebody's bringing the cornbread, there's music playing, everything's good. And that's what I truly believe is to be an American.
Well, when y'all have a cookout, you better invite me. I'm going to be looking forward to that invitation. I like to eat, Jaden.
We can invite the whole LINDELLTV squad. We got you.
Thank you. We appreciate that. Good to see you today. Always a pleasure. Turning Point USA Rise. We will see you all here same time, same place next week. Have a good day, Jaden.
Thank you. You too.
We are going to take a quick break, and when we come back, a look at the markets and your news to go. Stay with us.
America's founders warned that without knowledge and virtue, no nation can remain free. Yet through the steady infiltration of Marxist ideology, we have been stripped of both, and we are no longer a moral and educated people. To save America, we must spark nothing less than a national renaissance. That's why you need Freedom Talk Magazine, the journal of truth and virtue. We cultivate enlightened thinking and principled living, offering unique insights into the issues and remarkable people defining our world. Sign up today for your free subscription to Freedom Talk Magazine and join the new American Renaissance.
For the first time ever, we're bringing you My Pillow mattresses and mattress toppers for as low as $99.98. Remember, sleep's all about temperature and pressure points. Whatever sleep needs you have, we have the right technology for you. Like our My Pillow mattress topper, our queen size has over 10,000 individual comfort supports to help relieve your pressure points. And how about our 3-inch Hybrid Plus mattress topper? It's infused with copper and silver to help your body get the restorative sleep it needs. And our My Pillow and Case Coil mattresses, I personally helped develop these mattresses to make sure they have everything needed to give us great sleep. Plus, they're made right here in the USA, and they ship right to your front door absolutely free. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to get MyPillow mattresses and toppers for as low as $99.98 and free shipping.
Talk is cheap when it comes to saving our country. We're not just any cell phone service provider. We're Patriot Mobile. It's not enough to simply talk about values. We live them. Defending life, protecting our First and Second Amendments, and celebrating our military and first responder heroes. We're boots on the ground making a difference. We're America's only Christian conservative wireless provider with nationwide coverage on all 3 major networks and 100% US-based customer service. Join Patriot Mobile today and make an impact every time you use your cell phone.
Are you taking advantage of President Trump's golden age? Or what if I told you can just sit back and earn money as President Trump continues to repair our economy and make America energy independent again? I'm talking about oil royalty checks. With the help of the Oxford Club, thousands of Americans have unlocked this secret hack that has put money back in hard-working American pockets. Financial expert and LINDELLTV supporter Mark Litchenfield has showed me how. It's a way to profit from America's energy production that's been working quietly for decades, even when oil companies were struggling. So go to LindellOilBoom.com to find out how this all works and why it's relevant right now. That's LindellOilBoom.com.
Taking a look at opening bell on Wall Street, numbers from MarketWatch.com, the Dow, S&P 500, NASDAQ all down. Look at the Dow, down over 1,000 points at this time. That's because of this Operation Epic Fury. We'll continue to watch the markets. Again, like we told you yesterday, as bad as it looks, don't be a panicking. Things will get better. Looking at your news to go as you start your day, the president has accepted an invitation to this year's White House Correspondents' Dinner. He skipped out last year The president saying this on Truth Social. The White House Correspondents Association has asked me very nicely to be the honoree at this year's dinner, a long storied tradition since it began in 1924 under then President Calvin Coolidge. In honor of our nation's 250th birthday and the fact that these correspondents now admit that I am truly one of the greatest presidents in the history of our country, the GOAT, according to many, it will be my honor to accept their invitation and work to make it the greatest, hottest, and most spectacular dinner of any kind ever. He went on to say he looks forward to being with everyone this year. Be looking ahead to tomorrow when Minnesota Governor Tim Walz will give his deposition into the Minnesota fraud accusations. Walz will testify before Congress. He has denied that he knew anything about the billions of dollars in Somali fraud, but whistleblowers say otherwise. Also tomorrow, join us here on My Mornings. Gordon Chang will be on the show. We are excited to have his expertise on Operation Epic Fury and the ties to China. That's coming up right here tomorrow, so do not miss that interview. And we leave you today in prayer from the book of Jeremiah. The Bible says, your dwelling is in the midst of deceit. Through deceit, they refuse to know me, declares the Lord. And again, that's from the book of Jeremiah. A reminder, if you're on social media, give me a follow, send me a message. I'm on X, Vocal, Truth Social, Instagram, and YouTube. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel. That's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow.
Welcome to Vocal, the free speech social app that gives you a platform to amplify your voice, speak freely, connect boldly, and be part of a growing movement for truth, faith, and freedom. Want to know what's happening right now? The Now Playing feature shows you exactly who's live and what's streaming in real time. Check out the show's feed, a non-stop lineup including LINDELLTV News 24/7, shows and on-demand programming all in one place. Connect with your favorite host and never miss a show. Explore the featured page for quick access to LINDELLTV's top shows. Follow your favorites and watch their newest content flow right into your feed. And when they go live on Vocal, you can join the live chat and be part of the action. Ask questions, share your thoughts, even help shape future shows. Stay informed on issues around securing our elections by following your state's Cause of America account. Join a group and connect on a deeper level, from faith and freedom to the future of our nation. Go to vocal.com or download the app today and be a part of the mission to save our country.
For the first time ever, we're bringing you My Pillow mattresses and mattress toppers for as low as $99.98. Remember, sleep's all about temperature and pressure points. Whatever sleep needs you have, we have the right technology for you. Like our My Pillow mattress topper, our queen size has over 10,000 individual comfort supports to help relieve your pressure points. And how about our 3-inch Hybrid Plus mattress topper? It's infused with copper and silver to help your body get the restorative sleep it needs. And our My Pillow and Case Coil mattresses, I personally helped develop these mattresses to make sure they have everything needed to give us great sleep. Plus, they're made right here in the USA, and they ship right to your front door absolutely free. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to get My Pillow mattresses and toppers for as low as $99.98.